Wednesday morning. We just set off, and so far, you can't see it, but we're getting good water. Running at 2150 RPM, which gets us about 5 knots. Maybe I should be running 1800, but I think she's all right. We're hoping to find a place to stop to get some provisions, and then we're going to try to get through the last 2 locks and out of the Erie Canal today. And once we're out of the canal, we're going to try to find a place to wait for our turn to go through the Welland Canal. And then after the Welland Canal, basically home. Still no GoPro, so I won't have a lot of scenic shots for you, but I'll try to catch anything on the phone if it's pretty and I'm able to. And it really is pretty. How's that for a yard? Nice small little house, not too big. Well, it's not small, but look at that yard. Right on the canal, trees hiding it behind it. That's my type of luxury. No, wait. No comment. Water coming out the back is good and heavy flow. Beautiful day, a little warm. I'm feeling a lot more rested after taking yesterday to just recover. Arms are sore. I think I pulled harder on the boat than I realized at the time, but generally speaking, well, she feels good to be underway again. You know, I was saying to Colin earlier, if I think about this as a delivery, I start thinking like, man, it's expensive. If I start thinking this as, I like adventure vacations, it hurts a bit less. Boy, has this been an adventure. Almost half an hour in. Take me a couple of hours to feel confident that everything is humming smoothly, but I'm starting to relax a little. It has lots of use. Yep, I think that's the babies have all gotten big enough now that they've changed their colors. I don't do a very good goose call. Methinks that someone is a sailor and a sci-fi fan. Coming up on the last 2 locks of the Erie Canal. We're now in Lockport. The old paddle wheel boat. I wish I could film these last 2 locks for you guys, but I'm afraid I can't. The lock on the left is the new one. The lock on the right is now used for flood control, but used to be a flight back in the early days of the canal. Let's see if I can get a better view. There you go. Okay, I gotta focus on docking now. And that's it. Locks 34 and 35. That's the end of the Erie Canal. Well, the end of the lock system for the Erie Canal. We have a bit of ways to go to get out of the actual Erie Canal itself. I'll say again, all the people that I've met on the passage, all the staff and people on the Erie Canal, the various bridges and locks, they've all been wonderful. How European is that? Onward to find diesel. We still haven't found anything since we left Oneida. The current's picked up here. You can see the stuff passing the tree branches. Speaking of tree branches, that would kind of mess up your day now, wouldn't it? Flood control, I think. I've seen a few of these along the canal system. So I should probably tell you a tale of what happened about an hour ago. So, been hearing metal rattling off and on. And Colin noticed it was getting louder. So I stuck my head in, and it was finally loud enough that I could see what it was. When we were jerry-rigging the galley sink to run to the heat exchanger, I wanted to take as much load off the engine as possible, so I disconnected the belt off the alternator. And I forgot to put the bolts back on. Well, rather, I forgot to tighten them back up. The bottom bolts had rattled off completely, and the top bolt, the nut at the end of the long shaft had fallen off, but the rod bolt thingy was still in. So I saw a dock, kind of similar to one of these ones here, and I thought, well, I'm going to spin around and dock on that. We didn't hit it, but we did hit bottom and got properly stuck. So, seeing as we weren't going anywhere, put the bolts back in, that was no problem. And then we had to get the boat unstuck. I couldn't do it with just the propeller. So, with Colin's help, we reinflated the dinghy. Hola! And took the anchor out as far as I could. The weight of the chain made it so I couldn't throw out that far. I really should have had an outboard in hindsight. In hindsight, there's so many things I should have done different, but that's the thing about hindsight now, isn't it? So we did get it out far enough, and we dropped it down, and we tensioned it so it was pulling the bow out to the side, and then with that I was able to rock back and forth until finally it broke free, and we were able to come out. Obviously I've been nervous about that plugging up the intake, but so far we're still getting good water and everything seems to be okay. We are 3 or 4 nautical miles to the end of the Erie Canal where we can finally get diesel as well. So we're going to stop, I think, a little short of that, and I'll check things out while Colin runs off to do something he wants to do. And then we'll get back on the water, get some diesel, and figure out where we're going to stay for the night. And then we have to plan for tomorrow our entrance into Canada and getting ready for the Welland Canal passage. A hot but beautiful day. We are very close to the end of the Erie Canal. More boat garages right on the house. Ain't that just a thing? Imagine just going downstairs to work on your boat. It's just noticing. I don't know if it's coming across in camera. The color of the water has changed a fair bit. Oh, there's a boat that wants to pass us. Well, that's something else. Got a can like a lift bridge or something, I wonder? And that's the end of the Erie Canal for us. Heading back out into open water. Well, Erie Canal, it's been an adventure. Almost forgot about current. And just loads and loads of bugs. I don't know if you can see them on camera. Yeah, look. I don't know where the hell they all came from, but they are everywhere. But the breeze is nice. The speed is not. Navionics tells me that's the South Grand Island Bridge. Does anyone know what the hell these things are? They're flipping everywhere. Like, it's making it hard to navigate. There's so many of them. They're landing on my glasses, they're landing on my hat, on my face. They're landing everywhere. Locust swarm. Even on the camera as I try to record this, they're landing. Ah! My list of problems today. Frickin' swarm was not one of them. I can't find my bug spray, and it's actually hard. Like, they're landing on my glasses. We've been looking everywhere. We're hoping we can get to Lake Erie and the wind will blow them off, but they're absolutely everywhere. They're landing on everything. Sorry, one just went into Colin's mouth. Like, I've never seen this before. A swarm was not the problem I thought I was going to have today. Like, who's having fun? Like, maybe there is a God and they just think this is flipping hilarious. It just keeps getting worse. I don't know what to do. Like, actually really hard to navigate right now with all of these bugs. Like, I don't know if you can see them. They're on the camera, they're on me, they're on my glasses, they're on everything, and I've covered myself in bug spray. It just isn't helping. I don't even know what to say. There's nothing we can do to get away from them. I've never seen anything like this at all in my life. Top of being swarmed still badly. The current is so bad that we're barely making, well, 2 knots. Not meter, I don't know if you can see it, it says we're doing 6 in the water. It's because I'm sure the Niagara River is pinching here. Bugs are just, I mean, I don't even, it's unbelievable. It's absolutely unbelievable. So, up ahead there, I believe is the entrance to Lake Erie, which is good, because I'm really hoping that's the end of these bugs too. I mean, look, all up there, the scuppers are just full of them. They're just, I don't even have words. I don't even have words. The boats, touch wood, handling just fine, so I'm grateful for that, but oh my God, the last, how long has it been that we've been in Niagara? Oh, it's gotta be more than an hour. Well, anyways, it's been an eternity. Let's just go with that number, yeah. Check out the current we're up against. Ever seen a river in a river? And the current there is just insane. And yes, we're still being swarmed. That's just kind of the new normal now. Well, on top of everything else today, we've had current that's so fucking hard. We've been sitting beside that boat ramp for a while now. Like, we have the engine going 2,600 RPM, and I cannot make any progress. I don't know who I pissed off, but I'm sorry. I really am. Now, that's the Niagara River. See the currents? This is where they're slow. I was going like 3 knots, 2 knots, 1 knot. That's the train bridge, and behind it, if you can see it, is the bridge that is the entrance to Lake Erie. As I got to that lake, or got to that bridge, the currents got so bad that even with the engine at almost full throttle for half an hour, I was sliding backwards. I literally could not make progress anymore. It's like I hit a force field. So I radioed a big ship that was coming, and I asked for help, advice, whatever, and he said, oh, there's a canal back past the train bridge that you see behind me. That's the entrance to the canal. This runs alongside the river and gets out into Lake Erie, I'm assuming, to bypass the incredibly crazy current. Problem is, it closed at 3:30 p.m., which we got here at 5:40 p.m. We tried to get into that marina, couldn't figure out what it was called. Got to the entrance and it had a big no trespassing sign. So I just said, okay, pardon my language. And we came and we tied up against this wall. Obviously, this wall is meant for much larger ships. But with some fussing, yeah, look at the size of the bollard! It's ridiculous. And there's spring line off the bridge, and you can see the next bollard forward. Anyway, so we got tied up, and we've got our fenders out, and now we wait for morning. Sunset's pretty damn pretty though. There's worse places to be stuck. And she's a good boat. I've given her some hell and she's still going. She's a good boat. So we're setting off. We have to switch over to a starboard tie. So Colin is moving the things over, the fenders over, and then we'll be going through the lock and onward to Lake Erie. Rail bridge, take 2. You can see the canal we're on and the route we took yesterday. So far, no bugopolis, whatever you want to call it, whatever that hell was yesterday. Fingers crossed the bugs stay away. It's nice being able to do actually 5 knots. G-coding around the force field. That's the marina we got blocked at. I couldn't get past it yesterday. I don't know if you can really see the currents over there, but they are mad. I don't know if it's coming across the camera, but the height difference coming out of the canal versus the river on the side. And we're coming out of Black Rock Channel. And that was the fun part. I have to make sure that I cut across without getting too close to be sucked back down that river. So, slow and steady and taking a good wide berth. Better view of that building. I'm not quite sure what it is. At the end of the canal now. I don't know if you can see it off in the distance there, but we're aiming for that point, and then we'll turn starboard a wee bit. So Colin just took the helm, gave me a chance to change out the flag. So we're now officially into Canadian waters. So we took down our American courtesy flag, and now we're flying our Q flag, the quarantine flag. That basically tells the Canadian Coast Guard or whoever that we have not yet cleared into Canada, even though we're in Canadian waters. Once we actually clear customs, that will come down, and that's all she'll be flying. Nice calm day. Buffalo behind us. We're in Canadian waters. So close. So close. Come on, my girl. We'll get home and we'll get her all fixed up. She's got a whole lot of living left to do. So do I. What the hell is that? Oh, it's a bunch of birds right above the surface. I wasn't sure what that was at first. There's a lighthouse that was just but a distant white speck when I first came into Lake Erie. I think we've got a little under 2 hours left to get to Sugarloaf Marina, where we'll pass into customs and wait for passage into the Welland Canal. Lighthouses go away, they probably won't be replaced. They're not really needed anymore. Just saw an orange something floating in the water. We're gonna go investigate. Looks like it might just be a balloon. Yeah, if it is, we'll fish it out and take care of it. Colin snagged it. What is it, like a Mylar balloon or something? Alright, well, pop it and trash it. You caught it on the first try. Coming up on Sugarloaf Marina. It's just up there. 1 mile, 5 knots. So we're in Port Colborne, sorry. It's been another long day. And we're in Canada. You notice the Q flag is gone and the American flag. We are fully in Canada, and well, that was a process. So last summer, late in the summer, I called Canada Border Services. As I may have mentioned in the past, the broker I had to buy this boat, as soon as the money cleared, he totally bounced, ghosted me. I couldn't get anything out of him. So I had no idea how to import the boat into Canada. So I did some homework, and I even called, I think it was Canadian Border Services, and was like, hey, you know, what's this process going to be like? And I was told that, okay, well, they would assess the value of the boat when you enter the country, and you'd pay taxes on that, and you'd have 30 days to pay. Turns out that was not the case. I had to pay the taxes on the purchase price in US dollars with today's conversion that they chose, which was higher than the banks, but anyways, I'm not going to get into that. more annoyingly, I had to pay the whole thing right there, and they would only take credit cards. I lost one of my 2 credit cards overboard a few weeks ago, and I didn't think it was a big deal because I thought I was going to have 30 days to pay. Ended up taking 2.5 hours to get things sorted out. I did eventually get things sorted out, but I mean, you try to do things right, you try to call and get everything lined up, and it seems like, and this is true going into the States and going into Canada, every time you talk to somebody, it's a different set of rules. But of course, it's your responsibility to know the rules. Anyways, so be it. Got it sorted out. I'm in the country. A lot poorer, but I'm in the country, and the boat is Canadian now, fully and legally. So, that got us here. We got here around 2, I think. The sail over here was absolutely fine, which is glorious to say. I'm really happy to say. It was fantastic, and touch wood, that's how it's going to go tomorrow as well. So, as I record this, I think, what time is it, Colin? About 10 after 8. Thanks. So we're going to go to bed really soon because we have to be up at 5. We have to be over at the canal entrance for 7 o'clock. We're booked in. I never got a straight answer on what was it going to cost, but I finally found it. It's $200 to go through the Welland Canal. Throw it on the pile. There's a point when the hole's so deep, it's like, what's a few more shovelfuls? Anyways, so, barring no problems tomorrow, we'll be through the Welland Canal. They said it can take between 8 and 14 hours. I think it's 8 locks in total. The first one apparently is relatively mild. I really, really want to try to get some footage, but as I understand it, it's going to be pretty rough, so I'm going to do my best to get it documented, but I'm apologizing. It's without the camera mount, I'm not going to be able to document it well. Anyways, once we're through, we'll decide how far we're going to go. By the time we're out of the Welland Canal, we're very close to Port Dalhousie, where I'm going. So, my daughter's going to pick us up on Sunday at some point, Sunday afternoon. Again, all things going well. And I'll get to give my daughter a hug and give my kitty scritches 2 days from now. This has been, I wanted an adventure, and good Lord did I get what I asked for, and it's not over yet. But I'm also kind of ready to go back to the Shire and take it easy for a while. Thanks again, everybody. I know I keep saying at the end of these updates, but friends, family, patrons, you're keeping me going. Again, I know I keep saying that, but it's true, and I just want to keep saying it. So thank you all very much. Oh! I have to say, we were having some bite to eat, and my sister-in-law messaged me and says, "Your tracking's still on. I can tell you're at this restaurant." Oops, bug. There's still lots of bugs. And so anyways, I turned it off, and she was saying, don't forget to turn it back on in the morning. She's a teacher out in Alberta, and she was saying that some of her kids are watching the trip as well, which, holy shit, that made me happy. That all of the frustration just like instantly melts away when I hear that like kids are watching this adventure. That's just chef kiss. Anyways, good night, everybody. Fingers crossed for a smooth passage tomorrow, and could be home in 48 hours. Night. 6 a.m. exactly, and we're off to 6 a.m. exactly, and we're off to queue up for the Welland. We have to be there at 7, and it's not that far, so barring issues, we should have no problems. Today's going to be a very industrial looking day, I think. So we're at the holding area. It's coming up at 7 a.m. These are all the boats that are going to be coming through with us. Well, there might be more, but there's, I think, 6 of us already. Got the powerboat over there, those 2 sailboats, this sailboat, and this father and son in the powerboat, and us. Calm before the storm is what this feels like. It's pretty though. And we're underway, waiting our turn with all the others lining up behind us. Getting ready to lift. There she goes. that gets us into our first lock. We're all queuing up in the first lock. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, we're all here. Oh, and there's the alarm. We don't tie up in this lock. We just float, and I have to pay attention to stay off the wall. So, water's dropping. Kind of weird not having anything to hold on to. Lock's going up. We're about to go through. Just waiting for the green light. Looks like we got some company. Got a freighter coming, I think. Gave him a call and asked him which way he'd prefer we pass, and we're going to pass port to port. This is going to be fun. Not at all nerve-wracking. Nope, totally fine. When you're considering the rules of navigation and who's stand on and who's give way, there's also something called the rule of tonnage. He's sounding probably to the powerboat that's still in the canal. I don't know why that powerboat's not getting the hell over. Algoma, Niagara. St. Catharines. Soon to be my new home port. I saw a little pontoon boat cut across the canal earlier. Looks like it's a little ferry service. Very neat. I find it interesting. Look at the wake coming off the back of the Beneteau. Off my boat. How much less wasted energy there is. Lake Ontario in the distance there. You see the big wire to stop us from going forward. And we're all wrapping up. Currently cleated us off just temporarily, but obviously I have to release that before we start to drop. I think we're about to have someone tie up with us, so I'll be back in a minute. Ooh, there we are. We're rafted up. So we'll be hanging off our port. We'll be working the lines on the starboard as we go down. Looks like it's quite the drop. Fair bit of a drop down. Okay, work time. First Lockbeard, Rapella, who rafted to us, is now going to take the wall and we're going to raft to them. And that's the first lock behind us done. Third lock of the day. Let's see if I can get a view. It looks like she's a bit of a doozy. Ravello's another CNC, 30 Mark II, 85 30 Mark II. She's pretty. And there's the You Shall Not Pass cable. Alright, looks like we're about to head down. Yep, you can see that's coming down. I'm guessing that comes down, grabs the You Shall Not Pass cable, and lifts it up. be big enough to stop a freighter. Oh, we're already going down. Still going down. Let's see the waterfall back. Hearing and beeping, I think we might be near the bottom. Yep, gates are opening. Alright, onward to the next lock. We were thinking those are suction cups to grab the big ships. Another one there. There's a third one filler. Alright, and down we go. Just a wee bit of height difference. Look at the water gushing. Oh, there's a counter up there. I wonder if that's how many feet they have left between the bow and the lock doors. There was 120, 119. Alright, here comes the superstructure. They were waiting for a train. I didn't know there was a train track right over the bridge. Oh, that must be that bridge that's on the top. Yep, just leaning back. There's actually a door or an office or something in there. I'm assuming everything is strapped down really well. We're almost done. Well, almost done this lock. There's still, I think this is lock 4, so I think we're halfway through the locks. The scale of that door is hard to explain. I don't know if the camera catches it. So, part of the 8 hours to 14 hours depends on whether you're waiting for commercial traffic or not. We all had to pull up on this fine, windy day. And we had one massive bollard to tie to, and that was it. But while we were waiting for this, I was checking my Facebook messages, and I suddenly saw this picture from my friend Ryan. I looked over and there he was. We had a chat, now he's off again, but that was a very unexpected message and made me have a good laugh. We are less than 10 nautical miles from our destination. Voiceover Maddie here. We got to this lock, we were told to hold at LA3, and then nothing else. After waiting for some period of time and listening to the radio chatter between the ship ahead and the lock, it turns out that those HMUs, hands-free mooring units, the big yellow pads you saw a few minutes ago in the video, one of them had, well, apparently it got stuck and then they were trying to release it. There was a spill of hydraulic fluid into the lock and they couldn't open the lock until they cleaned up the spill. They didn't tell us anything. We ended up waiting for about 4 hours. The Welland Canal staff, after the wonderful experience with the Erie Canal staff, was jarringly bad. They didn't want to talk to us. They didn't tell us anything. Anyways, after about 4 hours, it finally was allowed to leave, and we're ready to continue. They were stuck for just as long as we were. Okay, I need to get navigated. Yep, that was a big one. Apparently the next two are relatively short drops. So it's still a bit of a significant drop. Not as big as the previous ones, but it's up there. We're not going to be able to get to our marina tonight. They told me D-dock, but I don't know what slip, and I don't have a map, so we're going to come out of the logs and find a place place to tie up for the night, and we'll try to get to the marina in the morning. Last lock, just after sunset. Welland Canal at night. I think the iPhone is brightening it up a fair bit, which is unfortunate. I'm sure there's a way to make it look more realistic. But kind of nice. The last dregs of the day's light. We set off at 5 a.m. It is now 9:15. It'll be about 16 and a half hours by the time we finish transiting. 16 and a half, 17 hours. There's lock 1 for the Welland Canal. Assuming everything goes well, this is the last day. We're just about 5 miles, maybe about an hour away from the marina. Been having a bit of... Oh, I thought something jumped back there, but it's just the waves against the concrete wall. Anyways, hopefully the last day can be drama-free. If there's a problem when I get there, then I guess we'll sort it out when I get there. But hopefully today's the last day, and tonight I'll be back at home and I'll be able to see my daughter and see my kitties and take a proper bath. I very much enjoyed being on the boat. I'm also ready to go home and have a little break. Though I know that within a week or two of being home, I'm going to start getting real itchy about being back on the boat. I think we'll let Bai Kamo, Trillium class, I think we'll let him go first. Or her. Or them. I don't know who the captain is. I saw a big boat like that earlier in the canal, and I thought it was all banged up. Maybe it had been in an accident, and we saw the water coming off of it, and I'm like, man, I wonder if that's like pumping out bilge. I think that's just wear and tear of going through the locks and touching the lock walls. She seems to be riding high, so I'm guessing she's not loaded. Oops. Practical Navigation has a really interesting series of videos. If I can find them, I'll link them. They talk about the meaning of those symbols and how they do weight distribution and whatnot for these big freighters. It's really fascinating. I bet you that horn can put out a good few decibels. It's funny how they're still called steamships, even though they probably haven't used steam for propulsion in a very, very long time. Ooh, hear that? Sounds like he's rubbing against the wall. That would explain the paint jobs. It's really hard to give perspective of how big these boats are until you see, I think it's called the pilot house. You realize that's much larger than an average house, like much larger. You basically have an office building as like a small attachment to a ship. When we were stuck in the lock, I heard Mitik's pilot saying that, oh, there's no bow thruster on this one. I can't believe that ships these big don't have bow thrusters, and stern thrusters for that matter, or azimuth pods or something like that. But I guess the professionals have been doing this from long before those things existed, so they just know how to do it. Powered by biofuel. Hey, Damon Jess, there you go. You got a freighter doing the same thing you guys are doing. Oh, look at the lifeboat. It's not enclosed. It's like a little power boat. I guess not being ocean crossers, they're not worried about being fully enclosed. All right, the big girl's gone. We should get ready to head off. It's a fairly big cat going south. I think it's massive. Wind crest. I can't make out the rest of it. She's big enough. That's the marina up ahead. 1.8 miles. Down to the last mile. There we go. All right, I gotta focus on docking now. And we made it. No issues at the marina whatsoever. She gave me dock slot D26 for a few days until I get things sorted out to get hauled out on the hard. 760 nautical miles, Kent Island, Maryland to St. Catharines, Ontario. I can't say it was smooth sailing. I can't say it was bad. I can't say it was good. Colin and I were just talking, and really the only adjective that describes the last 4 weeks, last year and 3 months, it's been an adventure. It has been an adventure. Now to do something I've been looking forward to do for a while. Oh. Oh my god, this is stuck. I thought this was going to be just like an elegant close. There we go. Engine seacock is closed. I have a few other seacocks to close, but that should open one more time when I get from here to getting hauled out. Little Yanmar, you served me well. Everything else around it, we're going to just leave that as a question mark. But I will give Yanmar credit. She took some knocks and just kept on going. She's not the right boat for... She's not the right engine for this boat. But she's going to be the right engine for someone's boat. She did a damn good job. Started with 2050. It's now 2193.9. Almost 150 hours, which is what I predicted this trip. I can see why Yanmars are so well regarded. I have no idea how this episode came together. By the time you're watching this, it's sorted out, but it's going to be messed up because it's just a lot of freehanding the camera, having lost the GoPro. Starting from the next video, I don't even know what I'm going to be doing yet. I just need to go decompress. So the next video will be a bit of a surprise for both of us right now. Thank you all for following along. I'm the Digital Mermaid. If you think others might enjoy this, can you feed the algorithm and do the usual YouTube-y thingies? I'd very much appreciate it. I'm home. We are home. I think I've been forgiven.